All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all this truth and the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Shakwat. And I'm back here with another lesson, Lord willing, and edifying to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, to you sincere Akyam, Wa Akwath, and the sincere Shalom to you brothers. Out here pushing this truth, out there on the highways and the byways, and through these YouTube lessons, man, shalom to you all. Lord willing, this be edifying, all right? So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. As you see by the title, the lesson today is the time of Jacob's trouble. So I want to start by going to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, all right? Let's go to it. We're going to start off at verse 1. So deliverance and captivity promise. We're not going to read the whole chapter, but my suggestion is a strong suggestion, and that's to read this whole entire chapter. It's beautiful. A long time ago, I did a lesson going into this whole chapter. Maybe, Lord willing, I'll do it again someday. All right, so here we go. Jeremiah 30 and 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord power of Israel, saying, all right, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. All right, and we're looking at this book right now, the scriptures, but they was talking about this specific book, which is the book of Jeremiah. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel, the northern kingdom, and Judah, southern kingdom, saith Yahweh. All right, and we've been placed in captivity. That prophecy has come to pass. That's a part of the curses. All right, so a lot of people saying Israel hasn't been placed in captivity or this, that, and the third. Listen, bro, this scripture proves it all. When you go to Luke 21 and 24, that proves it all. When you go to Baruch, the 4th chapter, verse 6, it proves it all, etc. Jeremiah 17 and 4, it proves it all, right? You can't get around this stuff. Our captivity is proven and promised. Deuteronomy, the whole 28th chapter, starting at verse 15, right? It says, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. So that's after the captivity. All right, when Yahweh Shai returns and saves the elect, then we're going to be taken back to our land, all right, which is the land of Israel. But it won't happen until Yahweh Shai does it. He got to come back and get us, as according to Matthew 24, starting at verse 30. So to this in Ezekiel 37, right? For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness? You know, Jeremiah is asking questions like, why do I see a man in a fetal position, basically wailing like a bitch? This is crazy. Right, but this is talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. That's how bad Jacob's trouble is going to get. When you go to the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, it says men are going to seek death. Let me get it, I'm going to come back. Revelation 9 and 6, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. All right, now we know this is talking about during World War I. All right, this is talking about during World War I. That's how bad it was. But if that's how bad it was during World War I, how much worse, how much more, how much worse is it going to be in the time of Jacob's trouble, which is a time that the earth has never seen before? This is worse than any captivity, any war. How much worse? All right, and we're already in Jacob's trouble, and we're seeing things now that the earth has never seen before. Digital ID. You have AI ruling over an entire nation over there in I forgot. I made a lesson on it like a few weeks back. But ruling over an entire nation, and then that AI ruler had babies. We are living in some weird times we've never seen before. So we're already in Jacob's trouble, and Jacob is in trouble. I don't know if you ain't been paying attention, if you've been paying attention or not, but Jacob is indeed in trouble. All right, they're in trouble, All right, so Yeah, you got that. And then also on top of that, well, that's what I was trying to say. Shit hasn't hit the fan yet, or hell hasn't broken loose yet, but we are indeed in Jacob's trouble. We're in that phase of birth pains. Let me jump here. Salakia. Yeah, 2nd Ezra 16. We'll start at verse 37. 2nd Ezra 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, or slack, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side, no escape. All right, it says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And that's what we're supposed to be, and that's what we're going to be in Jacob's trouble, pilgrims, because we got to be off the grid, because you shouldn't be taking that chip. Don't take the MOTB, right? So, but the point was, we're in those birth pains. We're in that birth pain era, right before shit completely hits the fan, right? So we're in Jacob's trouble. We're just not at the peak of it. All right, so like we read here, verse 6 again, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from thee. So the Lord going to leave these people here to suffer. You're not going to give them a mercy kill. No, they're going to go out the hardest way possible, the most gruesome, luckiest way possible, right? They're going to be seeking death. That's how bad it's going to be. And death is going to flee. The death angel is going to run away from them. No, nigga, you got to suffer. Like I said, this is talking about World War One, but if that's talking about World War One, how much worse in when shit hits the fan in a time like never before seen. So let's go back to Jeremiah 30, and we're gonna start at verse 6 again. Jeremiah 30 and 6. Actually, now, well, I'll read that. I want to see what it said in the NLT. Yeah. NIV. Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm not gonna, it's the same thing. So we just keep it in KJV. I thought it would have said something a little more special. All right, verse 6, actually now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Right? At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And all you strong men are going to get put down. That's what it goes into in 2nd Ezra 16. All right, it goes into that in Isaiah the 3rd chapter, and so on and so forth. You strong men are going to be cast down, right? So I'm going to read that again. Alas, for that day is great. What day? Well, it's going to say, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who's the he? The elect. The elect is going to get saved out of it. The men of the Lord are going to be saved out of this, right? And you sisters are going to be saved through the covering of the men of the Lord, all right? And you children, right? They'll be the elect. So, yeah, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. It's a great day and none is like it. This is a time like never before seen. And we're in Jacob's trouble. We're seeing things we've never seen before. And shit ain't even hit the fan yet. And we already seeing shit that we've never seen before. Crazy to think about, right? So when you go here to Daniel, the 12th chapter, right? And we're going to end this thing off soon. I don't even want to make it too long, right? It says on Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael. It's going to get so bad that the Lord got to send the head honcho under Yahushai to come back and defend us. Because you got Yahushai, then you have Michael, right? Michael is under Yahushai. He's the second top ranking angel. Yahweh Shai is the top ranking angel. What about Yahweh? Yahweh's not an angel. Yahweh's not a messenger. Yahweh created the whole concept of an angel. Yahweh is just different. He diffy. That's what I say. Yahweh is diffy. He's unexplainable. He's unexplainable. All right. But you can't say he's an angel because he created the concept of angels. He's not a messenger. He made messengers he's not an angel. He's well beyond that. Right. He's beyond any of our comprehensions. He's diffy. He's unexplainable. Right. Man. Anyway, it says, but this is going to get so bad, the Lord going to send Micah Ya'ala back to defend us. That's how bad it's going to get. So, and at that time shall Michael stand up. The great prince will stand up for the children of thy people, the elect. All right. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Who's the people? The elect. The elect is going to be delivered. All right. So that's how bad it's going to get. All right. And when you go down here, verse 4, it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end, which we're here. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. What is another way to say knowledge? Science, this technology. They're trying to bring everything into a technocracy, and it's being held by technocrats that are being governed by the elites. You cannot make this shit up. These are the times that we're living in and coming into, and it's only going to get worse. You know, it's only going to get worse, right? So these are some very scary times that we're living in. And Lord willing, it gets worse. And it will get worse. It got to get worse before it gets better. You know, we're living in times where civil unrest is coming about, anarchy, all of that good stuff is here. It's present, right? It's here and it's present, right? So like it said in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, knowing that all these things are going to come to pass, knowing that a time like never before seen, we're talking about a time even worse than the siege of 70 AD. We're talking about worse than when the Babylonians and the Assyrians, when the Assyrians sieged and attacked Northern Kingdom. We're talking about worse than when the Babylonians attacked us, the Southern Kingdom. This shit is going to be bad. It's going to be so bad that niggas are going to be running around, like it says in Isaiah 9, niggas are going to be running around gnawing on themselves, gnawing on their own arm. We're going back to cannibalism, times a million. It's going to get bad. Times like never before seen. None of these movies, not your World War Z, not your Walking Dead, not your Civil War, not your Leave the World Behind, etc. None of these movies, these end time movies, you know, Bushwick, etc., and go on and on, right? Homestead. None of these end time movies can compare to how it's really going to be, to the real thing. These movies and these shows, these end time movies and shows are going to pale in comparison to the real thing when we're actually in the midst of that real shit. It's going to pale in comparison. So like the scriptures say in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, knowing that all these things are going to come to pass, because it will. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come. And when it do, it will not tarry. So knowing that these things are going to come to pass, how should you be operating and carrying yourself so you could be saved out of that? Because the Lord said, the scriptures say, be blameless at the return of Yahweh Shai. We got to be counted blameless. All right? We got to be counted blameless. We got to have a perfect heart. We're not going to be perfect, but you got to have a perfect heart, meaning your spirit got to be perfect. All right? And that's what the Lord is doing right now with refining us and molding us, trying us, right? So we can be made perfect. You know? So yeah, man. There you have it. I'm gonna end it there though. You know, things are gonna get very bad. It's only gonna get worse. When you look into the news right now and what's happening, these grocery prices are the highest it's ever been in 3 years. All right. So Trump is not upholding this promise, and those MAGAs, they're realizing that right about now. Now they're turning on Trump. He's not upholding his promise of ending inflation day one when he get in office. Nigga, we're 10 to 11 months down the road, and inflation has gotten worse. So this nigga's a liar. right? But you're idiots for believing and voting in the dumbass nigga. You all idiots for still trusting in a stupid ass society. So the ha boo hoo, that's what you get, right? That's what you get, nigga. Right? So with these grocery prices skyrocketing, where people living paycheck to paycheck, things are only gonna get worse and worse and worse. So expect here shortly, just expect for shit to hit the, people to start that. Well, people are already bugging out, but expect people to bug out and crash out even at a higher level. I was saying this in my lesson last night on the way back from camp. Expect a lot more crash outs. Things are only going to get worse because they're lamenting. People are lamenting. They're not getting their benefits. They're not getting what they need. They're scraping by. They're as Elder Apostle Gabar always says, we are surviving at best. So these people, they're surviving at best. And we're barely surviving. Right? So people are going to start losing their mind. And they're going to start seeing shit. And what how Randy Orton theme song go? I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. Yeah, I say to myself, they talk to me. People going to start hearing voices in their head. They're going to have them demons. They're going to get to talking to them. And then they're going to get to acting upon those thoughts. Those voices in their head. They're going to start acting upon it. And things are only going to get worse from there. Time of Jacob's trouble, baby. We're in it. And soon we're going to be at the peak of it, which is when shit hits the fan. Lord willing, this was edifying. It should be behooving to you, as it says in 2 Ezra, the 14th chapter, to set now your house in order. Because we here. So you better get right with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and repent and be converted. Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh B'Shem, Yahushai B'Shem, Rachak Udash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And until next time, Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala Gadol Abadim, Lababal Hagadol, Yahweh Mahar wa Ahabatham. And until next time, I would like to say to you all, Shalom.